be realistic about where the Niners stand. They're probably not going to make the playoffs this year, and they do need to do some reloading, reshuffling, rebuilding. And it starts with their decision at quarterback. Brock Purdy will be eligible for an extension as soon as the regular season ends. Going rate for a top 15, top 10 quarterback in the NFL is $50 million plus per year.
That's crazy.
And that's been kind of recent. Do you think the Niners should join that market and make Brock's dreams come true?
Man, that's a lot of money. That's crazy. I remember when Patrick Mahomes signed his deal, I think he's making 45 or something. That was crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a nuanced question, but I think if we just look back, let's look back at the modern era of the NFL, last 2 decades. And I'd encourage everybody to do this. Go look back at the last 20 years. Look at those Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. Just look at those names. It's like Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer. There's only 2 names that I don't think will. One for sure won't. I don't think the other will either. Joe Flacco. Right? Joe Flacco, we remember that playoff run, obviously. We remember that Super Bowl where the lights go out. But that playoff run that he had was epic. And he was still on his rookie deal back then, right? So this is not taking $50 million on the salary cap. The only other quarterback that's not like first ballot Hall of Famer is Nick Foles.
Right.
And if we
I'll run down the list real quick of names of the last 20. Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Nick Foles, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Joe Flacco, Eli Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady.
So there it is, right? Like, I mean, that's case in point. So the only other one is Nick Foles. But if we look at that objectively, that was actually on the heels of Carson Wentz going 14-2 that season. Mm-hmm. Philly was the number 1 seed. Nick Foles kind of just slid in there, played 3 games.
Yeah.
So if we just look at history, and I think success leaves clues, right? If that's the list of quarterbacks, I think Brock Purdy does a lot of things very well, right? I think like he plays the position extremely well. He's athletic. He's cerebral. He has great instincts. There's a lot of things that you can't coach that he has. And I think that's even why he's able to have success at any level. But when we talk about like elite traits of those quarterbacks, it's not even close. Right. So I think fortunately for the 49ers, they don't have to make that decision right now. And if we wanted to just look around the league, who else has paid quarterbacks that amount of money and how are they doing? Right. Like Tua. How are the Dolphins? Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. How are they doing? How does the Cowboys roster look with Dak? Right. So I think if we're just looking at salary cap, looking at the percentage of the salary cap that's taken by 50+ million, and then you look, is this quarterback elite? Can he push the ball down the field? Does he have elite traits? Can he put the team on his back? And if the answer is no, you can't pay one position that much money. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, like, if you don't have an elite quarterback, you can win a Super Bowl if he's on his rookie deal. But if you don't have an elite quarterback and you're paying him top market money, you cannot win a Super Bowl. You can't. Because if a guy could win a Super Bowl making that much money, he's elite. And frankly, Brock, God love him, couldn't win a Super Bowl making $900K.
He maximizes what he can do, and it works if we looked at the defense, right? You got to also have an elite defense. Mm-hmm. So when a quarterback is on his rookie deal, the defense actually has to be top 5. So that's what they've had. The good news, though, hey, there's one more season. We get to see what he does. We get to see what he does maybe with a little bit less. And I guess at that point, the 49ers can make a decision. Are we going to make his dreams come true? Or is it time to maybe try to find somebody else who's elite? Because it's the NFL, right? This isn't Pop Warner. The goal is to find somebody like Josh Allen, like Patrick Mahomes, like Jalen Daniels even, right? These guys that are elite.
And the thing with like paying Brock all this money, if the Niners don't, what team would be clamoring to do it? Like what team would be like, oh, we want to give Brock Purdy $55 million a year. Like the Giants will just draft a quarterback. I don't see where the market is.
Well, it's not 50. I'll tell you that. It's probably more in the Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith territory.
And there's like, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Brandon Allen this weekend. If he plays relatively well, that could hurt Brock Purdy's value. But then there's guys like Jameis Winston in Cleveland who are just won a huge game in the snow against a really good team, not making a lot of money. I mean, if the options are give Brock Purdy $55 million a year or trade him or keep him and sign someone else and hedge your bets, it seems like you could have a pretty cheap quarterback room and not commit yourself to Brock Purdy, bring in Jameis Winston or someone from the draft and be better off.
I agree. And especially we could get into this, but what if the 49ers decide to move off of Shanahan and get a first round pick, right?
You could argue that no one in the organization has more trade value than him.
He might even fetch 2 first round picks. Who went for 2 first rounds? Was that Gruden?
It sure was. That was about 20 years ago. But yeah, he went for 2 1s and 2 2s and like $5 million.
Oakland would give all of that. I know they would.
Yeah.